Hey everybody, it's Andy, aka Max Writer. Gotta adjust a few things here. We are back with another live stream. Let me see if I can turn the volume down without turning it off. I wish this thing... Oh, yep. Just want it in the background until it's over. Crying out loud. This thing needs like a... something I can use my mouse wheelie button on to just be like, turn it up, turn it off. Ooh, I gotta get comfortable here, sorry. So, today we were playing, as you saw from the intro if you were here before, Alone Against the Frost. Now this is the update for 7th edition Call of Cthulhu, and I did not get my Call of Cthulhu game book. Hold on, let me grab that. We're going to put do this. Sorry about that. I wanted to have the rulebook here. Just in case you need it, here's my beater copy of Call of Cthulhu. Got torn up on the bottom at some point. I have another copy on the shelf. I'm probably going to end up buying another copy to keep in pristine shape, because that's what I do. So, Alone Against the Frost is the updated version of Alone Against the Wendigo. I got to quit banging the desk because I'm going to kill my computer. It's just going to go off. I have such great equipment. It takes place in the 1920s, kind of generic. This copy is just in beautiful shape. I just love it. It's a solo scenario, obviously, along the lines of Cassian's solo scenarios. I've printed out some character sheets for... I have to explain this first. Since everything becomes part of my Game World canon, when I run a game of Call of Cthulhu, and I consider this running a game, as well as playing it, then it becomes part of the canon of the world. So, in 1925, when I ran Alone Against the Wendigo, Dr. Nadelman, L.C. Nadelman, went with a group of students up to... Come on now, what are you doing? Lost focus. There we go. Up to Canada, did this thing, immediately died. So, not wanting to just quit, his sister showed up. She's also an anthropologist. Ooh, twist! And she... Oh, the music stopped. This can't be good. So she went up after him. Now, since none of the students died, he just kind of like went up a valley to look at something and never came back. I could still bring these 3 graduate students in. The next year, she went looking for her brother and tried to finish his work. So we got our 3 graduate students still there, plus the guide. All of them survived. So the next year, that was 1927, is where I set it in my timeline. She disappeared. Well, no, she didn't actually. She made it back alive. But all the graduate students were lost. Every one of them died or one was abducted. Another one got snatched up by something in the night, and I just ran away. So she was actually found guilty of like negligence charges in Canada and put to jail for a few years and then ruined, which is kind of a good ending. She survived. So currently she, I believe, is still in jail. I should have grabbed my little timeline to double check on that. But we're going to place this one in 1928. We're going to change these names and we're going to play it like it's a whole new group of people coming in, and I'll think of that in just a minute. But before we get started, let me slide this. We might have to use the calculator, but we'll see. This is by Glenn Rahman with Gavin Inglis. I'm probably mispronouncing names. It was published in 2019, is what this says. Oh, we'll start with the introduction. This is such a beautiful copy, I hate to touch it. It needs to go on my shelf and never be touched. Alone Against the Frost is a Call of Cthulhu adventure designed but to be played by a single person, where you're both the keeper and the player. In it, you assume the identity of Elsie Nadelman. We're going to change Elsie Nadelman, PhD. Let's just go ahead and change the name. Nobody's watching, so I don't think. No, nobody's watching. So we're going to change the name to. Let's call him. We're gonna make him. He'll be a man for me. Let's call him Doctor. I'm liking the name Ernest Schwartz. Don't know why, but I think that's what we're going to go with. Dr. Schwartz. He is an anthropology. He is a doctor of anthropology at Miskatonic University, brand new, obviously. Just hired a year ago after the disappearance of both Nadelmans. Let's see what else our introduction has to say. An anthropologist tenured at Miskatonic University in the 1920s. You have traveled to survey the North Hanninah, an unknown region of Canada's Northwest Territories. Preparing to start. Make sure you have a copy of the Keeper's Rulebook, got it, 7th edition. Copy or print out Dr. Nadelman's, in this case Dr. Schwartz's investigator sheet, page 110. Schwartz doesn't work for me. Well, sure, it'll be Schwartz. Investigator sheet, you may also wish to copy or print out the investigator sheets for Dr. Newman's traveling companions. Okay, we got to change the names. That's why it's bugging me, because I want the same initials for this guy. So it's got to be an N. What's a good Ernest and a name that begins with an N? And no, it shouldn't even be Ernest. This was an LC. So we'll go with Lewis North for Nadelman. We've also got sheets for his assistants. Now we're going to keep Charlie Foxtail. Although in this version, Charlie Foxtail's a woman, which I think she's going to be the wife of Charlie Foxtail, who was the original one who went with the original expeditions and then said, "No, we're done. I'm done with you people," and he's not going to be doing this anymore. But Sylvia Davidson. Let's see what we got here. So we've got Bernard Epstein, Sylvia Davidson, and Norman Faulkner. Norman Faulkner, Sylvia Davidson. Oh my. There's Charlie Foxtail. We're going to put him over here. This character sheet is in case I want to run a cousin or something like that. But I think we're just going to try to go one time through. I'm going to try to figure out where I went last time and not. These are full out character sheets. Bernard Epstein, he disappeared or died or something in the last one back in 1927. So this will be oh wow, I'm blanking. What's a first name that begins with a B? Bobert. Wow. I can't think of a name that begins with a B. That's not Bernard or Bob. I guess he will be Bob. Bob Edison. Robert Edison. I guess it works. Bob Edison. Sylvia Davidson. I think these are all the same names. Norman Faulkner. We're going to call her Susan. Just Davis. That's good enough. And Norman Faulkner will be. What's his surname begins with N? Nicholas. Nick Faber. Sure, why not? And then we'll leave Charlie Foxtail. We're going to keep her as is for this update in 1928. Oh, wait. No, summer of 1927. The first one took place in 25. Yeah, let's make it 28. We're going to make it summer of 28. It's been 2 years since the other expeditions attempted this and failed miserably. All right, so let's see what we got here. Read the Getting Starting section on page 6, and then fill in the additional material on Dr. Nadelman's investigator sheet. Dr. North. I think I named myself North. Where am I? What happened to me? There I am. Yes, Lewis North. Once you're done, you're ready to take on the challenges of Alone Against the Frost, starting on page 8. Don't forget to wrap up nice and warm. The North Hanninah holds many dangers, and your first expedition may not end in scientific or academic glory. Thankfully, you can try this adventure as many times as you like. The big woods are unpredictable, and they hold many different adventures and possible outcomes. Each time you begin anew, you may reallocate Dr. Nadelman's skill points. Your knowledge of the hazards ahead will improve your chance, but mere knowledge and skills are not always enough against the forces of darkness. A change of name. When Alone Against the Wendigo was published in the 1980s, writers and game companies were not as sensitive to the wholesale adoption of creatures from indigenous mythologies as they are today. With this in mind, with its release, Chaosium decided to update and rename the book Alone Against the Frost to avoid the misuse of a culturally significant term. The creature at its core has also been reworked and renamed to better underline its mythos ties to the great old one Ithaca and the great Windwalker himself. Okay. Here's the foreword for the new edition. It was 1985. Let's fix this again. I still seem to be getting too close to the camera. It was 1985. This is by Gavin Inglis, March 2019. It was 1985, and I was in high school. Our small group played D&D from the basic set. On the cover, a writhing green serpent emerged from a festering pool to menace adventurers. I used to cycle to games with the... I used to cycle to game... Oh, cycle, literally like bicycle. I used to cycle to games with a polythene bag dangling from my handlebars, but it got caught in the spokes of the front wheel and the rulebook cover was shredded. I became intrigued by this other game, Call of Cthulhu. On the cover, a writhing green tentacle snaked through a graveyard to menace adventurers. I saved up money from a paper round and bought the box set. I pored over the chapter on the Cthulhu mythos with evocative silhouettes of deep ones and dark young. The trouble was, I had no idea how to translate my D&D experience into a game of investigation and horror. That is totally what my problem was when I was in high school, middle school and high school, because I loved Lovecraft, and I couldn't figure out how to play this game. I got the the box set, like second or third edition, and I read The Haunting, and I thought, ooh, this is kind of cool, but I had no idea how to present that, because at the time, D&D for me was like a board game. It was like, you go into the room, you kill the monsters, you get their stuff. There wasn't much story or any of that kind of stuff. A few more weeks of paper rounds, and I bought Glenn Rahman's Alone Against the Wendigo. My Dr. Nadelman lost several groups of promising graduate students, but finally, out there in the big woods, I understood how Call of Cthulhu worked. I never looked back. A third of a century later, I was elated when Mike Mason asked me to revise the book for a new edition. Editing a large solo adventure requires a certain, perhaps perverse fascination with the structure of interactive narrative. I still can't figure out how to do it. I just can't. I would love to put one of these together, but man, it just feels like it would be a monster. When I showed him the resulting diagram, Mike suggested I put it on a t-shirt. But honestly, I doubt it would be readable even on XXXL. It might be non-Euclidean. We've moved on culturally in that third of a century, and Mike and I discussed certain changes into the original text. Glenn's first edition was ahead of its time in providing 2 character sheets for male and female versions of Dr. Nadelman. Yeah, I thought that was very cool. We also wanted to balance the genders of the supporting cast, so somebody had to become a woman. In perhaps a bold move, we decided to flip Charlie Foxtail, the native guide. Yes, I think that's a cool idea. And I think it'll make for an interesting story. I also fleshed out the backstories of the graduate students. Frankly, I wanted it to hurt more if you lost one. Yeah, there was nothing in the first one. It was just, here's his name, here's some stats that you can use. I'm not sure that won't happen to your Nadelman expedition, though. Veterans of the original edition may notice some other changes. Random dice rolls for navigation have been eliminated. The treatment of the native community is hopefully more sensitive. I don't think I've actually dealt with any natives, any indigenous people in any of the ones that either of the ones I played twice. I don't think I in either of those dealt with any indigenous people. I think just like Bigfoot and something in the darkness that I ran away from. I don't remember how I lost one of the students. That's terrible, isn't it? Um, And it is no longer necessary to keep a tally of the Hanninah mythos. Oh, I kind of liked that. But your expedition is still full of hazards and incredible discoveries, and the spirit of the original text remains intact. So, whether you're an experienced anthropologist or new to the North Hanninah, your academic career is about to take a fascinating turn. Just beware. On one of those long nights camped beneath the stars, you may feel an icy touch on the back of your neck or hear voices from the woods calling your name. Gavin Inglis, March 2019. Getting started. Wow, there's only 2 pages here. There was the introduction. Here's 2 pages on getting started and just some general notes. So we should be done with this fairly quickly. You'll need a pencil, scratch paper, dice, and the Call of Cthulhu rulebook or starter set, 7th edition. Oh, you can play this with the starter set. Awesome. Don't read this book through from beginning to end. Each entry is numbered, and at its end can be found instructions for where to go and what to read next. Now, does it give? It does. It gives the numbers in parentheses where it comes from as well, so that's awesome. Um, you may have to make a choice or attempt a skill roll to see what happens. Occasionally, you may be asked to record a keyword to mark a significant incident in your adventure. Do not carry these keywords over to subsequent playthroughs. Right. Your character may have to deal with physical and mental trauma. Although these need not end your adventure, they will interrupt what you're doing. If you sustain a major wound and fall unconscious, make a note of your current entry number, ignore the current text, and immediately go to 191. Okay. So let's jot that down so I don't have to flip back to page 1. Unconscious, 191. In the event of temporary insanity, go to 39. Temp insane, 39. For indefinite insanity, go to, I need to remember what that is, 364. Indef insane, 364. For permanent insanity, go to 550. Perm insane, 5. What the hell is my power? Power is 80. Alright, so you got a good chance of not going permanently insane here, I think. Dr. Nadelman, in this case, Dr. North. You may play Dr. Nadelman as a man or a woman. Decide this before you begin the expedition. You are the youngest PhD to be tenured at Miskatonic University in Arkham, Massachusetts. How old is Dr. Nadelman? 29. You're a rising star in the new field of cultural anthropology. Even European counterparts are impressed by your cascade of learned articles. Your theories are exciting, your classes are always full, and your students idolize you. Previous expeditions on your resume have been just sensationalized enough to draw the favorable attention of the press to the university in general and to the Department of Anthropology in particular. Rumors abound about large private endowments for your specialty. Your department head and collegiate administrators, often invite you to dinner. Ooh, what I've always wanted in real life. Dr. Nadelman's, which we're going to call Dr. North from here on out. Dr. North's investigator sheet can be found on page 110. You may allocate 360 points among North's professional skills. All right. So we have to do that. We have to do character creation here. So 360. What I'm probably going to do, let's check these off. Anthropology, there's none. History. Library use, natural world. Library use. I don't think library use is going to be super useful here. Other language. I wonder if I can take Hanninah. Other language. Own language is already 90. Psychology. And persuade. Okay. Your character must have at least 75% in anthropology, so we're just going to start with that. 75. Okay. Let's just give him 75 in anthropology. Let me get... 75 is as high as it can go, or I'd make it a 76. Let's... Give me 1 second here to get the calculator app up. 360 minus 74. So we have 286 points left. Nadelman also has 180 points of Oh, this person has nothing. See, that's one thing I did ooh, 64 credit rating. That's wealthy. I am successful. This one thing I really liked about the original. They made a character up and gave it to you. And it was just like, here you go, play. Okay, so we also have 180 points of background points. So, We got 75 in anthropology. Let's jack history up to. We're going to put that at 65. Simply because that feels super important. Um, what else have we got? Oh, fighting brawl or hatchet. Hatchet's listed here. Um, library use is going to be a 70, although I don't think we'll see much use for that. Okay. Natural world, we're going to make a 50. Oof, these are getting knocked out fast. Language other, it doesn't give me any like. It doesn't give me anything that says like, oh, this would be a good language to take. Pilot boat. I'm taking a ton of points in pilot boat. The thing is, pilot boat 30, pilot boat 30, pilot boat 40. Where did Charlie? Where's Charlie? Where's Charlie Foxtail? She should be amongst these three. Oh, we've got background stories here too, so we're going to read those as well. We might not get as fast a start on this. Where the hell's Charlie Foxtail? What had happened to her? She should be with these guys. 1, 2, 3. There's the graduate students. She got put underneath character backstory somehow. Charlie Foxtail has a 60 in pilot boat, so I might not need to put as much in there, but I might put some anyway. Let's see. We got to do her academics first. Her dodge is half her dex, which is going to start at 35, but we're going to jack that up in a little bit. Library use. What's that leave me with? Anthropology, done. History, library use, natural world. Other languages. I have no idea. I'm going to put Hanninah, since I've been studying them. And we'll put 41 points in there. Okay. And then I guess persuade 60. I got 45 points left. We'll stick it in psychology. So that's a 55. Let's erase these check marks. I'm not going to raise language O, and it's already 90%. Okay, so that's all we can get there. The 180 points for personal interests. Allocate these as you like. For field work, you might want to consider firearms, rifle, shotgun. Okay, that's a good idea. We'll check that off. Pilot boat. And survival woodland. Okay. So 180 points. Let's clear this. There we go. 180. Rifle shotgun. Let's get that up to 65. Pilot boat. Starts at 1%. I kind of want to put a ton in there. We're going to make it 71. So that's... I'm really good at piloting a boat. That's dumb. No. We're not going to do that. We're going to make it a 51. Okay. Survival woodlands. We'll jack up to 60. And then I think we'll stick the rest... Shoot. We'll put half of that last 40 points into stealth and half into spot hidden. There we go. There he is. He's set up. Dr. Lewis North. Oh crap, I have a hatchet. If I have to tag anything with a hatchet, it's probably better that I don't even try. Hatchet falls into fighting brawl, so it's 25%. Same with the knife medium. The 30-aught rifle is at 65. That's not too bad. I didn't raise my dodge. It's only 35. That's possibly a huge mistake. Alright, we're going to drop 10 points into it, so 45. It's a little less than half. I have a bad feeling that's going to come back to bite me in the ass, and we're going to pull 10 points off of survival woodland. So I got a 50-50% chance of surviving out there. Let's see what it says on the back. No ideology or beliefs. Dr. North is of a multiracial heritage, African American and German American. They're he is in his early 30s with black hair, an angular face with high cheekbones. He wears glasses. So since I've made him male, then that's him. Traits: curious, brave, foolhardy. Um, kind. Nah, I can't put cautious and curious. I'm not going to worry about the significant people, all that kind of stuff. We'll take a peek at these other, at the NPCs here in a moment. Let's finish this introductory stuff. Player companions. The Nadelman expedition is party 5. You have the help of Charlie Foxtail, a local guide. Um, let's put Charlie on top. So we probably need her. Charlie Foxtail is age 35. A First Nations woman with black hair, high cheekbones, and angular facial features. There is a picture. Very nice. I like the art in this. I like art that looks kind of real. Oh, it's blurry. There we go. There we go. There's Charlie Foxtail. She's a good toe-to-toe fighter. She's really good with a rifle. She has a lot of good skills, actually. And she is carrying a 30-06 bolt-action rifle. Along with, now we have our 3 students here. Graduate students from the university. We've got Bob Edison, a Caucasian man with curly light brown hair, a round face with full cheeks, and a coy smile. Traits: unswervingly positive and generous with his time. Wait, does Charlie Foxtail have traits? Oh, she does. Cautious. Charlie seems skeptical about your intentions for the expedition, but you quickly see she's a woman you can work with. Heck yes. It appears that, yeah, he's a graduate student. He's got good navigate. We have got Susan Davis for Sylvia Davidson, a Caucasian woman with dark auburn hair pulled into a bun. She has a condescending expression and wears glasses. Her traits are determined and conscientious, if a little too serious. And then we have Nick Faber, an Asian man with short black hair, a square jaw, and serious demeanor. Norman Faulkner, Faber, he's Asian. Yeah. Never the quickest to pick up a subtle point. Nick compensates with a dogged persistence, which is a quality you value highly in the field. So there's the group. We've got some background story here we're going to read here in a second. If you need to make a skill roll and one of your companions is present and awake, you may choose to have them make the roll instead. For example, Charlie's an excellent score in Listen. As long as Charlie's able to help, you may roll on her skill instead of North's. You may only attempt the skill roll once, however. Should combat arise, your companions may help you. Allot damage on your side as evenly as possible. Dr. North may elect to take extra damage to protect the students. A companion's hit points must not be reduced below 0 in combat unless the text allows for the possibility of their death. Should a companion be reduced to 0 hit points, they fall unconscious and revive if Nadelman survives the fight. You may wish to note if a companion disappears or dies. Oh yeah. Let's see. Dr. Nadelman. I've already read this. Rising Star, previous expeditions. Yeah. So let's look at the others. Let's look at what I rename her. Susan Davis, the latest arrival in a prominent line of Boston Brahmins. Susan is the first to take her studies to the postgraduate level and her boots into the wild. Thanks to her academic acumen, you have already conferred with the department head about tapping her for a junior position on the faculty. If she has a fault, it is an invariable seriousness, which you hope may slip a little in the field. Of course, Susan signed up for the North Expedition. It was the next logical step in her pursuit of academic excellence. Then we have Nick Faber. Nick is an atypical character around the department. A mature student, he worked for 16 years as a custodian whilst taking advantage of the long night shifts to educate himself from the history books and save for this period of study. How old is he? Nick, where are you? Nick's 41. Okay, all right. He is not young. You persuaded Nick to come on the expedition, hoping his reliable, calm disposition would make him a steady companion to the younger students. Charlie Foxtail. It surprises most people to discover that Fort McDonald's best tracker is a woman from the... I'm going to mispronounce this, sorry. From the... let's move this back. From the Sut'ina Nation, known by some as the Sarsi Indians. But those who ridicule her often regret it, and the bruises can last for weeks. Charlie defied her elders' wishes to leave the village and work as a guide. She's saving up money to send her bedridden husband to Winnipeg for an expensive operation. That's her husband, Charlie, who never recovered mentally from some of the things he saw 2 years ago. Charlie abandoned the expedition. He was like, no, 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 no more, no more, and left when I played. And then we have Bob Edison. An earnest fellow from the Upper West Side, Bob is popular among his classmates. His extracurricular conversation of late has centered on his upcoming wedding to his sweetheart, Catherine. This is sure to be a dazzling event, and as his favorite professor, your invitation has already arrived. Bob certainly possesses an aptitude for anthropology and a desire to test his knowledge in the field, but you suspect he signed up for the expedition to defy his image as a city boy and prove his outdoorsman's credentials to his bride-to-be. If he survives. Alright. So, there is our expedition. Get to know me. Using luck points, it is recommended that you use the optional spending luck rule. Ugh, I hate that rule. This rule allows you to spend your luck points to alter the result of a skill or characteristic roll. You may alter a roll on a 1-to-1 basis, 1-for-1 basis, e.g. to adjust a roll of 49 to make the result equal to your skill of 45, you would spend 4 points of luck with any spent luck, and then deducted from your current luck total. Remember, you cannot spend luck points to alter damage rolls, luck rolls, sanity rolls, or rolls to determine the amount of sanity points lost. You may spend Dr. North's personal luck points to succeed at a failed skill check. However, there will be very few opportunities to recover luck out in the woods, and you're likely to need some luck on the way. So do this at your peril. Combat. When in combat, your opponent's fighting skill will be noted in the following format: 50%, 25-10. 50% is a regular attack roll, while the numbers in parentheses, 25-10, /10, denote the half, hard, and 1/5 extreme success levels for determining who won the combat round, i.e., who got the best level of success. Within the entry, any damage suffered from being hit is shown. Roll the damage die indicated to determine how many points Dr. Nailman or a companion loses. Should Dr. North suffer enough damage to cause a major wound and or fall unconscious, consult the entry below. This entry number is also noted on Dr. North's character sheet. Is it? I don't see it. No, I think they neglected to put it on the character sheet. Reference first aid, major wound, reach 0 hit points, natural heal rate. No, this is just a typical character sheet. That's okay. Insanity. Apart from the threat of injury and death, and it's got the same page number here, 191. Apart from the threat of injury or death, your sanity may be assaulted by strange and incomprehensible things while on the expedition. Keep a record of Dr. Nadelman's sanity points and apply sanity losses as normal. In some cases, the results of insanity are directed in the entry text. Otherwise, at any other point, should you reach the threshold for temporary, indefinite, or permanent insanity, consult the following entries as necessary and continue from that point. These entry numbers are also noted on Dr. Nadelman's character sheet. I do not see them. Hold on. Either I'm overlooking them or they're not here. This was from the PDF. If you buy a copy of Alone Against the Frost from Chaosium, you will get a free PDF of this product, which is what I use to print out the character sheets. Note that phobias and manias are not utilized in this scenario. Let's take a quick look. Elsie Nadelman. A glance, I don't see that, so I think that got forgotten about at some point. A note about the entries. The entries are numbered consecutively from 1 to 654. All entries present information in the same way. The entry number in large bold numerals. Details describe the scene or briefly comment on the situation. After that, the entry might instruct you to go to certain entry. These are numbered 1, 2, 3. I'm on 3. Or ask you to choose an action or to roll a die, which have different. Oh, Yes, I turned my mic on. For a second, I thought I'd been going for like 30 minutes without having any audio, but I can hear myself. I didn't check, which I usually do. I usually end up checking. I'm usually pretty careful about this. Yes, okay. Oh, that would have been terrible. I just would have ended the stream. I feel like we're done. Maybe next week. Anyway, sorry. Um, let's see. 4. The parentheses numbers. Oh, wait. Number 3. After that, the entry might instruct you to go to a certain entry, or ask you to choose an action, or to roll a die, which have different outcomes. 4. The parentheses number at the end of each entry are trace numbers, showing the entries which you may have come from in order to have arrived at the present entry, allowing you to backtrack if necessary. Occasionally, you will encounter the phrase "the end." This signifies that your investigator is doomed and the adventure is over. Sometimes it means you have won, of course, but not very often. If you failed this attempt, try again. And I don't think we will this time. We're just going to play this once through. Okay. Oh my god. All right, so I guess we're going to start with now Alone Against the Frost. I should note the time. About 36 minutes. 36:00. Okay. I'm noting it just in case it comes in handy. You, Dr. Lewis North, have long been fascinated by the prehistory of North America, particularly the big woods of the North. The Canadian wilderness remains as unexplored as the Amazon basin, and hunters, trappers, and gold seekers tell hair-raising stories of the peoples of the area. Of course, they also tell tales of terrifying demons and other exotic fantasies. The time is right to bring a rigorous academic perspective to the big woods. The truth hidden there is doubtless more fascinating than any traveler's yarn. My dogs are going crazy. For over a year, you have petitioned your department to finance a modest summer exploratory trip. Okay, give me one moment, please. Sorry about that, real life. Um, I don't see anything out there, and they stopped barking as soon as I went to look. For over a year, you've petitioned your department to finance a modest summer exploratory trip, yeah, we said it's 1928, into Canada's Northwest Territories. However, and I'm going to add this, ever since 2 expeditions were lost in 1925 and 1926, Miskatonic University has been reticent about sending more people up to this area because it seems like people die or disappear when they go. Now at last your funding has been approved, and you make your preparations to leave at the end of the spring semester. Many of your graduate students are eager to go, but you can only take 3. You've chosen to explore the valley of the North Hanninah, where the other 2 expeditions disappeared. Well, the leader of one expedition disappeared, and all of the graduate students of the other. And Dr. Nagelman, who led the second expedition, was imprisoned in Canada for negligence. In the local dialect, Hanninah means the river of magic power. The yarn spinners have worked overtime on the legends of the North Hanninah. It is said to be haunted by invisible presences and bloodthirsty headhunters. A part of the valley where a party of prospectors was found beheaded is still known as Headsman's Glen. Your small expedition takes the train into north central Canada, then boards a chartered launch to the Great Slave Lake and down the Mackenzie to Fort Macdonald, where an outpost of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police represents the sole power of civilization amidst many thousands of square miles of mountains, lakes, taiga, and swamp. Fort Macdonald is a trading post for trappers and natives. The best route into the valley of the North Hanninah is upstream by canoe, following the west branch of the Mackenzie, to the mouth of the tributary you seek. A single bark canoe of excellent make has been reserved for you, as well as all the basic gear that your summer trip requires. Officials tell you that guides were reluctant to venture into the North Hanninah. The only one who used to go has been recently stricken down by some disease. The local peoples have always shunned the region, and most of the white men who dared to trespass upon the river of magic power never returned. Still, you locate a tough professional guide named Charlie Foxtail, not the same Charlie Foxtail that was reputed to have led the earlier expeditions. She narrows her eyes upon hearing your destination, but is persuaded by the high wages you are offering. Finally, all is ready to go. So in the original ones, you had to keep track. You got points for every entry, and then you would determine at the end how successful you were by the number of points, which I thought was kind of cool. They've cut that from this one. But we're going to start with entry number 1. Here we go. It's going to be a rough trip, I think. Drinking my last Yingling's Hershey's chocolate porter that I got for half price because they don't carry it anymore. And I'm still too close to the camera. I feel like this is as high as it can go. So what I need to do is kind of lean back and stuff because I'm like leaning in to read. Anyway, after a few days on the west branch of the Mackenzie, the stuffy corridors of Miskatonic University seem very far away. Sun stipples the water, and from the glare of midday to the gentle burn of sunset. Caribou gaze at you from the shore. Ahead, a heron drags an unfortunate stickleback from the shallows. It would feel like a vacation were it not for the relentless demand of the paddle. Each day makes the students more adept at keeping time with you and Charlie. Your supply of gasoline is limited, so you run the outboard motor as seldom as possible. Sun and wind grant Bernard the outdoor complexion he desires. Bernard, that's Bob. Grant Bob the outdoor complexion he desires. You locate the tributary one evening, just as the light begins to fail. Next day you launch into the North Hanninah. The Ram Mountains loom in the distance through a heat haze. At this latitude, the summer nights are so short that darkness gives the waterways no time to cool. Nick wipes sweat from the back of his head. The North Hanninah is a rougher river than the West Branch. Its floodplain is obstructed by sandbars, hills of driftwood, shingle islands, and forests of dead trees rooted in the mud. The current points all of them downstream, like arrows, warning you to turn back. Susan turns to your guide. Charlie, does your people live in this area? Okay, before we continue, we're going to go Bob, Susan, and Nick. That's what I've renamed these people. Charlie grunts and watches the water. For a moment, it seems she will not answer. Then she looks at Susan. At one time. Now, only outcasts. We will avoid them. Sylvia frowns. Why are they... But Charlie raises a hand. From ahead, slowly building, you hear the roar of rushing water. This is the place of the splitting water, she says. Here the river's alive. Each day, it makes itself new. Make a luck roll. Okay. Wow, we're jumping right in here with the rolls. All right. So I'm using my keeper dice, which are probably not good for players, but my luck is 85. Let's go. First roll of the day. 63. Oh my god, I thought it was going to be a 93, and I was going to be very disappointed. So that is a success. If you succeed, go to 2. If you fail, go to 3. We're heading for 2. The expedition spends the day working through a baffling network of waterways. Sometimes you are forced to back down impassable channels to find an easier way. Sometimes you blunder across the heads of powerful chutes and are swept along with them. At certain points, your party has to wade in waist-deep water, inching the craft along by hand. You pass labyrinths of wooded islands, fast water, and drift. Finally, you select a peaceful backwater in which to moor and make camp for the night. Roll 1d10. If the result is even, go to 4. If this odd, go to 5. Okay. 1d10. Here's my d10. If it is even, go to 4. It is a 6. We're going to 4. You take first watch that night, while the others sleep after an exhausting day. After a brief darkness, the brief darkness is disturbed by the splash of beavers in the stream, the trilling of insects, and the hoot of a great gray owl. Make a listen roll. Uh-oh, I didn't put anything into listen. It's only 20%. I don't think we're going to make this. I don't want to use too much of my luck. 49. I'm not going to use 29 luck. That is a fail. So I failed. Let's go to 8. Uh-oh, this could be bad. You hear nothing to disturb your watch. At midnight, you yawn and cross the tiny circle of firelight to where Bob Edison sleeps, whispering to wake him up. When the student makes no sound, you probe the shadows with the toe of your boot. You feel only sandy soil beneath the empty blankets. Concerned, you repeat Bob's name louder. The other members of your party scramble out of their bedrolls, bleary and asking questions. Be silent, barks Charlie. She takes a brand from the campfire and holds it aloft, passing it over the ground surrounding Bob's blankets. She pauses. The brand trembles in her brown, leathery fist. Even your amateur eye can spot the marks impressed into the earth. You ask Charlie if they are the tracks of a raccoon. Not a raccoon, the guide whispers in an odd tone. Not a raccoon, the guide whispers in an odd tone. She says no more. Can you convince her to open up? Ooh, I've not gotten this. This is different. I think I've lost this guy before. Like, he's gone the first night. Um, Make a persuade roll. My persuade is 60. That's not too bad. Oh, 5. Extreme success. Make a persuade roll. If you see, I'd love to see one of these where they give you different information depending on how, or different things depending on extreme, hard, regular rolls, as opposed to these are all just if you make this if you make it you go here, if you don't make it go here. I would love to see, but man, that would be a lot more work. It'd be just, well, it really wouldn't be. You get like a regular success, you go to 41. You get a hard success, go to 42. You get an extreme success, go to 43. Or even you make a regular success, go to 40, or say 41, like I said before. Give that information. At the bottom, say, if the result was hard, also, now go to 42. If the result was extreme, go to 43. You could even go as far as critical. Or, well, no, you couldn't put it all in one entry because that defeats the whole purpose. So I succeeded. Let's go to 14. 14. Your gentle persistence breaks down Charlie's reserves. Puckwoogies, she murmurs. The little ones of the night. They do bad magic, turn invisible, walk through stone. Once, my father saw a Puckwoogie. The night, a child vanished from our village. Around the cabin were tracks like these. Charlie tails off, staring into the past. It seems best to call for action. You instruct the party to fetch weapons, stay together, and begin to search for Bernard. Charlie snaps back to the present. Make a track roll for Charlie. Charlie's going to help? I wouldn't think that she would want to. I think she would be like, one does not follow the Puckwoogies. Charlie, we have to at least try to find Bob. We have to try to find him. Okay, so Charlie, I did the graduate students first, so she's supposed to be on the bottom. No, maybe I put her first. I did put her first. Charlie's track is an 80. Holy mackerel. All right, Charlie. Let's go. I'm loving her. Let's see if she can make it. 68 is a success. Make a track roll. If she succeeds, go to 23. If she fails, go to 24. I think Bob's dead. Following subtle signs, Charlie leads your party along muddy ravines, over stony moraine ridges, and through silent stands of red pine. The air is damp and musty with the smell of decaying wood. The coiled new leaves of lady ferns thrust up in thickets along your route, opening like fingers from unclenching fists. Charlie sees it first and freezes. Susan gives a shrill scream. Bob dangles between two small aspens to which his wrists are tied. His head is nowhere to be seen. It has been cleaved off at the shoulders. The stories about this river, Nick hisses. They're true. We must get out of this valley, Charlie declares. We must go or we will die like him. To insist on seeking Bernard's killers, go to 137. To retreat from the valley, go to 32. That's a tough one. Well, what can we do? He was obviously overpowered, dragged away from camp, and his head cut off. Bob's killers. Alright, let's X Bob out. He's dead. If I insist on going, we're going to lose Charlie, too. We're going to retreat from the valley. This is not the time for a confrontation. I want to look it up now. I have a feeling that would be our end. Or Charlie would be like, I go not with you. and Charlie would be gone. Let's grab Bob's character sheet. Bob is dead. Wow. That was fast. We're just going to remove it from the pile here. Charlie works... Okay, so this must be the next... Okay, Charlie works the motor, and the rest of your group pitch in with paddles. You spend a peaceful first day returning downriver. The next day out, a downpour turns the water savage, whisking you around a cliff-bound bend and down a mile-long sequence of rapids. Make a pilot boat roll. Okay, who's got the best pilot boat? I think it's Charlie. Charlie's got a 60. I've got a 51. We could be done with this pretty quickly. I guess I didn't realize that meant leaving the valley altogether. We're going to come back without Charlie, probably. We did this once before. Pilot boat of 60 for Charlie. Charlie got a 39, success. If you succeed, go to 411. God, we did not get far before frickin' somebody died. Your party's boating skill pulls you through without mishaps. Make a luck roll. My luck is 80. 85, I love that. 63 is a success. If you succeed, go to 513. It's time to decide the course of your expedition. Fort McDonald lies within your reach, and you may go there and end your experience in the North Hanninah. If you still have an appetite for exploration, you may take a short side trip, even strike back out into the depths of the valley. To return to Fort McDonald, that's going to end it, right? I'm looking that up. If that just ends this, we're not doing it. I don't want to go back yet, though. To return to Fort McDonald, go to 593. To take a side trip, go to 594. If your party still has at least 3 members, you may return to the wilds. Go to 425. We're going to return to the wilds. I don't know what this side trip is about. I feel like it's a waste of time. Yeah, there's a bunch of different places to go there. I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to go 425. We're going to return to the wilds. Every field trip is a rare opportunity that must be fought for. Miskatonic is a wonderful institution, but the discoveries that change the known world are made here, on its fringes. Through painstaking and dangerous exploration, you cannot give up yet. If the expedition still has all its personnel, go to 602. If only 2 students remain, go to 600. That's where we're going. If Charlie alone has been lost, go to 604. If Bernard alone has been lost. Wait a minute. If Bernard alone has been lost, we have lost Bob. So we're actually going to 598. Wow. That's way at the back. That's kind of scary. When you announce your intent to divert the party, Charlie stares at you like you've lost your mind. It is madness to return to that evil place. I will not do so. To give up the idea and return to civilization, go to 593. To remind Charlie who pays her when the trip is over, go to 599. Your threat impressed Charlie. Rather than end up with nothing for her efforts, she sneaks off that night during her watch, taking the canoe and a share of the supplies as payment. Damn it, Charlie. If I could have made that damn listen check. This might be a short stream, everybody. We're at 352. We've already lost 2 members of the expedition. Nick and Susan cannot meet your eyes for a few hours. To start back upstream with your students, go to 600. Take a circuitous route back to the fort, keeping an eye out for new discoveries. Go to 324 to head directly for the fort. Ooh. Oh, damn it. Those both sound... Looking for new discoveries might not help, though. No, we're going to go to 600. We're going to head back upriver. You press on through the interminable landscape of the North Hanninah. If you have the keyword Inch Cape, go to 601. To scale a ridge, go to 469. I'll have 8 points in climb. To stick close to the river, go to 75. To hold a parallel course, go to 55. To thread through light woodland, go to 218. To penetrate deeper into the forest, 557. Let's hold a parallel course to the river. We were right next to the river last time. This takes us to 55. I'm hoping I'm making different choices than I made before, because it didn't go well for me. The legendary mists of the North Hanninah press in. By day you cannot see the sun, and by night the stars are obscured. Some magnetic anomaly also affects your compass. Whether it is the proximity to the pole or some other reason, you cannot say, but your party has gotten itself lost, and you have no idea in which direction the river lies. Oh, God. This is bad. Make a luck roll. Alright, that's good. I'm pretty lucky. 59 is a success. If you succeed, go to 413. I feel like we've been there before. Have we? No, 513 we've been to. Alright. Crap, I've gotten lost with 2 graduate students. This is going so poorly. By a stroke of luck. Oh, I've never done this before, I don't think. By a stroke of luck, your party stumbles upon an abandoned cabin stocked with rusty but edible tins of food. This happy discovery solves your food problem for the time being. There's no trace of the person who built it, the cabin, probably a prospector or a hunter who fell victim to the hazards of the valley. This lucky find means you can recuperate a little. Gain 1d10 luck points, which I haven't used any luck points. Then roll 1d10. Oh no. If the result is even, let me get the actual d10, not the d, like the hundreds for a d10. 413. If the result is even, go to 77. If the result is odd, go to 470. Odd. Oh no. It's towards the back of the book. I don't know what to make of that. 470. You trek on through the wilderness. It feels like you've lived here for years. If you have the keyword Inchcape, which I don't, go to 471. If not, go to 82. We're just trekking through these forests. I mean, we've got some food now, but we're not finding... Oh, God, what is that? Oh, yikes. There's a picture of a puckwoogie. I am not happy with what I'm seeing here. Oh, I can close this calculator. All right. 82. You and Nick bed down near the fire. Oh, this sounds way too familiar. You and Nick bed down near the fire while Sylvia stands watch. You study each of your companions for a few minutes. Nick, a man in his 40s, trembles beneath his he'd have his sheet, I guess a blanket. Sylvia scans the camp perimeter, obsessively gripping her rifle. The loss of Bob and Charlie have affected both students. You hope that you can get them back to civilization before fear and hardship drives one or both over the edge. Crap, I got us lost. So I guess we got to just head home. I never find anything interesting in this one. Nick shakes you awake, staring out to the trees. There was a noise, he hisses. Susan's gone. You spring to your feet, throw on your jacket, and pick up your rifle from the ground. Despite the small hours of the morning, the subarctic dawn is breaking. A search of the surrounding ground turns up the tracks of Sylvia's abductors. They are not quite what you expect. Oversized, bare feet. This happened before, damn it. Somehow I've funneled myself to the same exact place. That's disappointing. To follow the tracks, go to 128. Yeah, we're going to follow the tracks. We have no idea what happened 2 years ago, however, because she's in jail. You sense Nick's reluctance, but he grips his rifle and falls in a step behind you. Together, you do your best to follow the trail of Sylvia's abductor. We have to attempt a track roll. My track is 10. Charlie's gone. I could have used you, Charlie. Let's put this character sheet away. Susan is gone. Nick has a track of 15. So, I'm down to one student again. Damn it. 32 is a fail. If you fail, go to 190. One of these, I can't remember which one it was, but gave... What the hell is that? One of these gave, like, 2 or 3... I think it was Alone on Halloween. Gave you, like, 2 or 3 chances to make a roll, and I was like, this is awesome. But it would still take you different places, because if you didn't make the initial roll, you didn't get as good a result. And it wasn't quite as good. 190. When the tracks climb a slope of jagged talus, the trail vanishes. You search for the remainder of the day, but fail to reacquire it. Finally, you and Norman sit together in silence. Neither of you wants to admit that Sylvia is just as lost as Bernard. Susan is just as lost as Bob. But you're out of options and must attempt to return to civilization. Go to 279. This is going to be a short stream, I feel like. We are probably rushing towards the ending of this one. 279. The journey before you and Nick promises to be long and hard. If either of you require healing, you may restore, 1 hit point each. We haven't been injured. To strike as direct a route as possible, go to 295. To hold parallel to the river's course, go to 280. To search for existing trails, go to 297. To explore rocky terrain, go to 595. To camp first, regain a little strength, make a luck roll. If you succeed, go to 296. If you fail, go to 298. Yeah, we gotta head back. I've lost 2 of my students. I guess we're gonna go to 295. We're gonna try to get back. I gotta get back with at least 1. The 2 of you walk, hungry for many days. One morning, you wake to find Nick gone. You search for the entire day, but fail to turn up a single trace of him. In the end, you have to admit you're alone. Go to 67. Wow, just poof, gone. Sorry, Nick. It's gone horribly, horribly wrong, just like the last time. Damn it. 67. This might be the end. Where are we time-wise? It's only 4 o'clock. That sucks. I'm not going to take another expedition out here. Despondent over the prospect of the trek, the wildest stretch of the Northwest Territories, you ram your way through the bush with bitter violence. Thunder rumbles in the western mountains like the echo of distant drums. The peaks fade into a lowering canopy of clouds. You wade a small river and then cross a pine ridge. The scenery blurs together as you go. This happened to me before. In the days that follow, you try to fish with your bare hands, eat whatever you can kill, and take the berries that grow along the way. You are undergoing a test that would daunt a seasoned frontiersman. Somehow I've managed to make the same exact choices I made before, almost. Except, the first time, what's his name? Norman was taken by something. To establish a camp to think, go to 496. To strike deep into the forest, go to 501. To hug the tree line, go to 494. To explore rocky environs, go to 427. To stick to the river. We're going to stick to the river. That's the smart thing to do. Make a luck roll. I mean, we have to stick to the river. This might end it quickly, but I mean, I'm out of food, all my gear is gone, I have basically my gun, and I'm trying to survive off the land. 74 is a success. If you succeed, go to 126. This is interesting and fun, but wow, just boom, it's over. The shore seems devoid of berries, game, or anything else to eat. Your concentration and reflexes noticeably impaired. You're reduced to wandering the shoals of the riverside, attempting to spear fish with a sharpened pole. Around one bed, however, you find an abandoned canoe. I hear dogs in the distance. No, we are not going to go in a canoe, an abandoned canoe. I know I took the canoe before, so I'm definitely not, just to see what happens. It doesn't say the end at 119. Day by day, the specter of starvation shadows your trek. You fail to find sufficient food and are racked with hunger spasms and become weakened and lethargic. As you trudge along the shores of the North Hanninah, no game in sight, you suddenly feel a psychic change. Something presses... see, this happened to my guy before, too. Something presses down upon you, something oppressive and stifling. It forces you to your knees in the pebbly sand. Is this real, or some creation of your imagination? Oh, gosh. Okay, the attack has a power of 80. Make a opposed roll with your own power. My power is also 80. If you win, go to 120. If you lose, go to 162. All right, so we're going to do their power first. Out of 80, they get a 58. That is a regular success. Since our powers are equal, I don't know what happens with both succeed. We'll have to look it up. I failed with an 84. Oh, damn it. I lost 162. This is probably the end. 162. You seem physically unhurt, but your thoughts are hard to focus. The images that do come are bizarre and startling, as though your own mind has become a stranger to you. There are new cravings, instincts, and drives you cannot yet sort out, but you know a hunger, an all-consuming need to gorge yourself on something. Beneath your feet, you see a thick carpet of moss. You kneel, tear up a huge clout, and stuff it in your mouth. It takes the edge off your torment, but you crave different food. You stalk off into the cool, beckoning woods. Go to 215. I believe I have become a... yes, whatever they're calling the Wendigo. 215. This probably has a the end on it somewhere. It doesn't. Alright, you look up, and behold, an awesome shape. It is he whom you know is your master. I actually have not done this before. You hear his name in your mind, the great Windwalker, Ithaqua. He's immense. He fills the heavens, your god. I've lost no sanity yet. You hear his dark call in your soul and run toward him. Ithaqua races ahead across the snowy ground. For an anguished moment you fear you will lose him, but his aura fills you with strength and quickens your legs. As he bounds in ever greater arcs, so do you. Finally, Ithaqua takes a bound so great that he does not come down. You spring into the air and join him, racing free on the stream of ether left behind. The friction of your journey through the sky is tremendous. Your old feet begin to burn and peel away. An icy weight forms in your breast, and you cry out. Suddenly, Great Windwalker's presence is gone. You plummet out of the sky, through the layers of ether, breaking through branches of spruce, fir, and tamarack. You strike the earth hard, but rise unhurt. You peer at your feet. They have been transformed. What was human about them has been burned away, leaving only corroded, black, stump-like hooves. Ithaqua has blessed you with feet better suited to follow him above the treetops. You know this is only the beginning, and that each time you fly with the great Windwalker, more of your human form will mutate. Finally, no portion of the old you will remain. Oblivious to time and distance, you wander through the forest that is now your home, the forest that fills every particle of you with its ancient spirit. Your craving returns, a hunger that leads you along like a famished beast on a leash. You see a campfire burning ahead. Only now do you fully realize the hideous repast you crave. Some small part of you, which is still human, revolts against your new hunger. Attempt a hard power roll. Oh. Alright, so my power is 80. That means I've got to get a 40 or less. I kind of want to make this so I don't just completely turn into a monster. 77 is not a hard power roll. God, that's 37 points of luck I'd have to burn for my 85. Yeah. 266 or 267. 85 minus 37 is going to leave me with 48 points of luck. I hate it, but I think I'm going to do it. In order to try to survive. I hate that because that high luck really has saved my ass. So we made that success. If you succeed, go to 266. They'll probably murder me. An exercise of incredible willpower has leashed the demon in you for a few precious moments. You know what you must do. You stride into the camp, making no attempt to hide your monstrous feet. The men in the camp, the hunters, reach for their rifles. The abhorrent cast of your features and the deformed stumps beneath you freeze them in superstitious awe. All you can manage are a few peals of bitter laughter. You must restrain yourself long enough to allow the hunters to gather their wits. Attempt a hard power roll. I'm trying to kill myself here. My power's still 80, so I still have to roll 40 or less. 58. I simply hate this That's 18 points I have to drop. So 48, we're going to drop down to 30. All right. If you succeed, go to 285. If I don't succeed, I'm going to murder them. My character is kind. I think I actually wrote that on my character sheet. Curious, brave, and kind. Better me than them. Your silent taunt impressed at least some of the hunters. A group holds you while one brings a vat of boiling fat from the cook fire. If forced to drink that, your icy heart will surely melt and you will die. It will be agonizing. Your dark survival instinct resurges. You struggle against your captors. 3 hunters hold you. Each has a strength of 60. Make an opposed strength roll against each. My strength is 65. You gain a bonus die for your unearthly powers, while the hunters take a penalty die due to fear. If you win all 3 opposed checks, go to 268. If not, the North Expedition is over. The end. Oh my god. Alright. So I tell you what. Yeah. So we're going to do this just like the other. We're going to roll Hunter first and then me. Each has a strength of 60. Make an opposed strength, and they have a penalty die. We're going to grab this other die. So Hunter number 1. Let me double check this. You gave me a bonus die for your unearthly powers. Okay. We're doing the hunters first. I should do myself first, but Hunter number 1 failed with a 95. I get a bonus die with my strength of 65. Got... Oh, shit. Wait. No, that's the hundreds. I got an 07. 2 07s. That's an extreme success. If you win all 3 opposed rolls, go to 268. Okay, so I've gotten 1. So there's 1. 3, and I've gotten 1. Alright, Hunter number 2. Penalty die. His strength is 60. There's a 97. That's a fail. So far, 2 of them have failed. Here's mine with the bonus die. A fail. I think person with the highest... We both got a fail. He had a 90-something. I've got an 82. Let's check this. Let's check opposed rolls and double check. I think it's whoever has the highest. If they both fail or if they both succeed, I don't know. I know if you both succeed the same level, it's whoever has the highest. I have a strength of 65. Let's see. Opposed rolls. Let's look this up. Opposed rolls. 82, 90, 92. Let's try 82 first. It's probably on 90, though. Wait a minute. Opposed rolls. Difficulty levels. Did I say 82? Skill rolls. Determining difficulty level. No. Post skill rolls. Alright. Player versus player melee combat. Skill roll can yield 1 of 6 results. Pose roll. Both sides declare a mutually exclusive goal. Yeah, they're trying to hold me down. I'm trying to get up. 6 results. Case of a tie, the side with the higher skill or characteristic wins. If still tied, which we're not, so I won. We both failed because we both had a... Since we both had a fail, the roll above the character skill. Since we both had a fail, highest characteristic wins. So I won 2 out of 3. Here's the third. Here we go. Mark number 2. Here's the third hunter. Penalty die and all. He got, oh my god, a 90 or an 80. So that's a fail. With the bonus die, I got a 50 or a 40, which is both a success. I succeeded all 3. Oh no. Go to 268. Holy crap. I was trying. I tried so hard. The hunters, bleating with terror, scatter through the forests. The memory of your human life. This is the last entry. What time is it? 4:15. We're gonna end this stream early, guys. Sorry. The hunters, bleeding with terror, scatter through the forests. The memory of your human life blinks out forever. You crave human flesh, and Ithaca endows you with the power to obtain it. You cry at the stars. You start to walk, and your pace quickens into a run. You sense the warm, flowing blood of the fleeing men, and you follow it. Soon, you reach the edge of a ravine and hear breathing below. One hunter's fallen and broken his ankle. Desperate, he throws a rock at you. Where are their guns? You easily glide through the air to the bottom and float toward him. He cries out as your ice claws close about his throat and as your frigid breath turns his face black. Your freezing fangs sink into his warm flesh. Soon you will eat again and continue your metamorphosis. Such is the curse of Ithaca, the way of the Windwalker. The North expedition is over. The end. Well, hell. It was different than last time, but not much. Darn it. I have no luck with Alone Against the Frost. I just have no luck with this game. So, that lasted about, I'm guessing, 45 minutes? 40 to 45 minutes before everything went terribly, terribly wrong. I've never really found out much about what's going on. I just can't make the correct rolls at the correct time to actually figured out, lost all the students again. Charlie left again. Maybe if I could have made that listen roll that first night, we could have survived. But, well, darn. That did not go much better than the second time, although I'd survived. Well, I guess I survived, but I am a monster haunting the woods in the Hanninah area. I think I've gone on the side trek someplace else before, and it turned out just as badly. So there's Alone Against the Frost. Wow, that was quick. See, I did so well on Alone Against the Flame, and it lasted a while. It was a nice long scenario, but every time I've gone Against the Frost, there's a picture of me. There I am. You can see my feet. They've changed. There's Ithaca. I'm gone forever. Poor Dr. North. He had such high hopes. He was so popular. That's probably the last expedition Miskatonic University is going to be sending into the frozen north in search of the Hanninah. Now, we do have a couple other things we can do here. Hold on. There is an afterword, which I do want to read. I didn't read the back because I read this when I bought this. I read the backs of all of these, and there's on my YouTube there are unboxing videos when I got them. This one is by Glenn Rahman, March 2019. Wait, wasn't the introduction by him too? The foreword? No, that was Gavin Inglis was the introduction. So this is Glenn Rahman. Having been invited by Chaosium to prepare a piece for the release of its new edition of Alone Against the Frost, I accepted gladly, but with my fingers crossed. I foresaw a possible problem in that I had crafted this game in 1984. That was 35 years ago. To bring back to life memories and feelings from the olden days has needed some mental preparation. I've been working on other projects, both in fiction and in board gaming, but it's been a long time since I turned my attentions to Lovecraftian themes. But as a writer, I have somewhat deep roots in Lovecraftian fiction and gaming. My late brother, Philip John Rahman, and I... Oh, okay. Have been credited with a couple of foundational contributions to HPL gaming, having produced the first published modern-style fantasy role-playing game related to the Cthulhu mythos. We did this in early work in 2 articles, the Lovecraft variant and the Monsters of the Cthulhu mythos, published in 1980 and 1981 in Flying Buffalo's Sorcerer's Apprentice magazine. I was the expert on gaming, and Philip was the H.P. Lovecraft scholar. We had pushed a boulder, and it kept on rolling. To our amazement, when Sandy Peterson published his Call of Cthulhu design notes, Different Worlds issue number 19, February 1982, he stated that the Lovecraft variant article had helped him in handling the emotional impact of Lovecraftian style encounters. He adapted our emotional stability idea into the Chaosium game system, changing its label to Sanity. I like Sanity better. People have told us that this concept was one of the milestones in fantasy role-playing. Indeed, Chaosium gratefully acknowledged Phil's and my contributions, and Greg Stafford put us on the list to receive free copies of all of its Call of Cthulhu releases for the next several years. That is very cool. These were all skillfully done expansions, supplements, and very well appreciated. After that, I went on to contribute to Call of Cthulhu itself. Work of mine appeared in the Cthulhu Companion, Chaosium 1983, which featured my introduction of two evocative but neglected gods into the Call of Cthulhu gaming. One was the god Gatanathoa, whose activity seemed to be most apparent in Polynesia, and the other was a lost race prominent in Britain, created by Colin Wilson, the Loiger. The entire companion I own a copy of that. The entire companion was subsequently incorporated into the next version of the Call of Cthulhu rulebook. By the last part of 1984, I found myself between jobs in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and was scheduled to report for work at the U.S. Post Office in early January 1985. Released from job hunting pressures, I used the free time left to me to embark on a new creative project. This would be a solo adventure for Call of Cthulhu, then entitled Alone Against the Wendigo, and now Alone Against the Frost. One may ask, how did you choose your subject for this particular Call of Cthulhu game? The fact was that H.P. Lovecraft's disciple, August Derleth, had created a mythos god called Ithaca. First appearance 1933. As I saw it, Ithaca, one of the great old ones, could infect people who strayed into places of power with his evil energy. They then degenerated into deformed, supernaturally powered cannibals, a rather terrifying prospect. But why did I want to put a Lovecraftian story in such an unusual place as the north of Canada? In conceiving a setting for a solo adventure, I had wanted to get away from the typical localities where so many earlier mythos tales had taken place. Being from Minnesota, I had an inborn fondness for the big woods. Though I have, in fact, seen very little of them, I have never been deep into Canada, and the conifer forests of Minnesota were taken out more than 100 years ago by the logging bonanza. I used my reading and my imagination to envision a claustrophobic tale of a scientific expedition into the northern forests. Quickly, I drew on another legend of the north, the legends of the South Nahanni Valley. Regarding the latter, I had encountered these spine-tingling tales for the first time during my college days in a couple of strange fact books that were popular around that time. They spoke of a real place in the Northwest Territories, a wild river valley with some grisly legends attached to it. The most chilling of these tales involved visitors to the wild location being found beheaded, or not being found at all. My brother Philip, who shared so many flights of imagination with me, became even more intrigued by these legends than even I was. After that, we talked occasionally about going to visit the valley personally, and in the 1980s we finally did, only to discover that the feared Nahanni was, in fact, a Canadian National Park Reserve. Bummer. That didn't sound too spooky. I wanted to write about a place where nothing was known, where people were afraid to go. Hence, for my story, I had to fictionalize the South Nahanni, keeping all the evil anecdotes about it, but transporting it into a wild and shunned region. I changed the name from South Nahanni to North Hanninah. That's clever. Be assured my lost and wicked North Hanninah is definitely not a national park. As for the rest of it, let's just say that I have packed into the adventure almost everything that I thought would fit. Anyone for Lost Valleys? I like Lost Valleys. Keen on Bigfoot? I like Bigfoot. Now that you've played through it, it won't be a major spoiler to mention the mysterious Kewanima. These humanoid were a joint idea put together by Philip and me, either when we were in college or shortly thereafter. We were exercising our imaginations because, as Americans, we were disappointed that Lovecraft had so little to say about ancient North America. Lovecraft had gifted Australia with the Great Race, and Antarctica with the Elder Things. But what about the New World? Philip and I remedied the deficiency by crafting an ancient race of humanoids called the Kewanina, contemporaries of the lost continents of Mu and Atlantis, who survived the demise of both their rivals through their evil sorcery. And so this solo adventure was published by Chaosium in 1985. I have never ran into the Kewanina playing this. I've played it 3 times only, though, so. I was looking forward to doing more such adventures in support of Call of Cthulhu, but was not to be. Shortly after its publication, Chaosium informed its contributors that it had decided not to expand its solo adventure line. But lately, the earth has moved under our feet. Chaosium, under its current management, has opted to renew and revitalize said line. We look forward to it. Only lately, this writer has been gratified to discover that the memory of this adventure has not totally faded from the mind of gaming culture. Just on a hunch, as I was working myself into the mood for writing this afternoon, I did a search of YouTube to see if the title would come up on the site. It did. 2 videos were there to be found, one of them running a 39-minute adventure set in the wilds of Canada. Hopefully this new Chaosium edition will awaken more fond memories among people who first played it. Of course, this much left. Hopefully, this new Chaosium edition will awaken more fond memories among people who first played it so long ago, and also create new memories for the generation of young people today. Glenn Rahman, March 2019. I never ran into these peoples. I made bad choices, obviously, because we're dead in 40 to 45 minutes. Yes, Alone Against Frost, very deadly, very very deadly scenario if you want to play it. I thought I made pretty good choice. Well, I failed that listen check, so up your listen so you can hear them coming. Um, what the hell is this? Damn it! There's no. Oh, here we go. Opposite the aliens attack. So yeah, there's Migo. There's some kind of a ritual happening here, and this is probably the these creatures that he created, and that probably includes the Pukwugi. I bet they're part of this race. That is a cool picture right there. That is a little bit terrifying. I like it a lot. Um, so there's Alone Against the Frost. I could quick roll up another character and run again, but I think we're going to move on. We'll have a somewhat shorter stream this week. Um, and since I've already played this twice before, it's going to be a lot of retreading at this point. But this was a lot of fun. I got a different ending, which is cool. I wanted that. Actually, I believe two of the three graduate students that were with me, something happened to them differently, so that's cool. Um, Charlie Foxtail left. In the first one he did that. Um, in my second game he did that. My first game I just died so fast it was just not even funny. Like literally 10 or 15 minutes in. Meh. Uh, and so if you play the game, I would advise. They've given Dr. Nadelman really good luck, which is definitely necessary. Um, I ate up a bunch of it just trying not to kill these hunters and trying to get them to put me down. But I failed the last check, kind of just to see what would happen. I guess I could have burned luck that last time. No, I could have burned luck to no to make myself fail. You can't really. There's no rules for using luck to fail a check, so I couldn't really do that. Um, and I can't give my luck to somebody else so they would get the check. So there's no rules about that either. I don't believe. I don't know. I never use the burning luck or using luck or whatever they call it. They call it what do they call it in here? Just using luck points. It's an optional rule. I don't use it. I think it gives too much. So even playing these games, I try to kind of steer clear of it as much as I can. I was really trying to go with the character though, and at the end, not kill the hunters and let them kill me. But Ithaqua's pull was too great. And so now, Dr. North roams the Hanninah Valley looking for prey. So, that was Alone Against the Frost. It was fun. It's going to be fun for you the first time you play it. And in the case of doing a stream, replaying it a lot is going to get old and stale very quickly for other people. What is that? Oh, that's the Pukwagi, or whatever it's called. So, we are down to two remaining Call of Cthulhu solo scenarios. Alone Against the Tide and the Dog Walker. I think I'll be running next weekend. I kind of want to watch. Trooper SJP is going to be doing an anniversary stream of 7 years of his streaming on Twitch, and he's going to be playing all day, different games, and I kind of want to watch that. But we'll probably try to play. If I'm not here next week, then the weekend after that we'll be playing Alone Against the Tide, which is to date Chaosium's latest Call of Cthulhu solo scenario. There is also coming up, being released, I believe in December, is Alone Against the Static. Brand new, looking forward to that. See how long I can last. And we've got the Dog Walker, which was released from the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society. The solo version of that is on PDF only, but I do have the actual copy of, so you can run it as, for people. I don't know anything about that one very much, but I'll have it up here on this side reading. I'm not going to print it out. It's it's really long, but each entry is one page, and then there's links to the other pages. And I think that's a great idea. Because that's going to allow me to quickly move through it if need be. And that's it. We'll play Alone Against the Tide either next weekend or the weekend after. See how long that lasts. Depending upon that, after that will be the Dog Walker. And then after that, once it comes out, is Alone Against the Static. I don't know what's going to be in between. I need to find, I guess, a video game to play again. I haven't played video games on my Twitch channel in forever. But that's the way it goes. So that was Alone Against the Frost. I'm going to check here very briefly to see if there's anybody doing any tabletop that I could raid. Whoops, where am I? Stream Manager. Is this raid? Raid a channel. Hunt Showdown, Minecraft Hunt Showdown, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or Fortnite. Yeah. The closest would be Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but that's not really... I thought there was a way to see... Thought I figured out a way to get more, but... Oh! Let's type in tabletop and see what happens. Shoot. Here's people with tabletop RPGs, but I don't know what they're playing. So I think we'll just skip it, and we're just going to end the stream. Channel. There we go. Okay, so anybody that's watching this afterwards, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. There's our music. It doesn't look like anybody was actually here during the stream, but I could be mistaken. I didn't see the numbers switch or move around or anything. So maybe nobody came. That's okay. This was fun. I'm glad that we've got it all set up for... this will be going up on YouTube in a couple days, either tomorrow night or sometime this coming week. And I'll be releasing the role-playing journal on Patreon soon. Probably Monday, actually. Yeah, Monday's open for Patreon for me. So that'll be open. I believe a link, if this is on YouTube, though, should be a link in the description below. And that's about it. This has been Alone Against the Frost. Hey, anybody that comes by and watches, thanks very much. And yeah, I will talk to y'all next time.